It's usually the best. It's usually the best. We always kind of feels like coming to a home away from home when we come here. And then we kind of had those like high expectations when it came to at least Reading. We'll see how Leeds goes. I'm sure it'll be pretty wicked as well. But it kind of blew us away yesterday. So it's been good.
Yeah, we've had that song for a little while, but like we kind of been touring for like 9 months, kind of like since COVID started to like die down and you could maybe go out on tour again. We've been at it, and so there hasn't really. Well, we weren't sure if there would be an opportunity to like record it or like put it out. There's a couple other songs along with it, but we managed to fit it in the winter, and then went out on this tour. We were with Royal Blood in the U.S. opening for them. And we just had all these like raw tracks on our laptops, and we're producing it in the back of our van, going back and forth on live stream with the guy that mixed the songs. His name's John Wayne. Like just messaging him on Facebook, being like, more bass. And it was a weird experience, but I mean, OK is kind of about the digital age, and it felt right to do almost all of it on my iPhone or on the laptop. Like it was all very fitting.
Yeah, it was cool. They were mad tight. Like they were super good guys, and their whole team was like very accommodating and just very pleasant to be around. But it was cool to see them kind of do their thing night after night. Those guys they're a pretty big deal, and it was. I feel like we learned some things from that tour for sure. It was cool.
Yeah, that's It was kind of a big deal for us to play that show. This place called the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto. It's like where we've seen all our favorite bands play, and it's kind of like this. It's like a milestone for like a Toronto band. And so when we booked that show, first off, we just didn't think that it was even possible we could play it, but people on our team assured us that it's gonna work. And we decided man, what a memory. We should capture it in some way. And so we floated around some ideas of documentary or the live concert. But we were kind of worried about getting lost in the ego of it. You make a documentary about yourself, and it's hard to not seem like you're just upping yourself or whatever. And a live concert movie, it's we wanted to find a unique take on that. And so we came up with this idea to kind of go for this weird, surreal, half doc, half I don't even know what kind of a movie, like fever dream thing, where just when we start to get to the edge of patting ourselves on the back, it snaps the viewer out of it, and there's something strange going on. They're not sure if any of it even happened. I think it turned out really great. I'm glad people like it. We made it with our friend Ryan, otherwise known as Boy Wonder. And he's extremely talented, and it's just a gorgeous-looking film.
I think it. In reflection, I think it did what we intended it to do. There was this idea and this sound and this sort of interpretation of what the studio version of Cleopatrick was meant to sound like that hadn't really been put to paper up until Bummer. And there were so many things we kind of had in mind with the process of making that album, and one of the big things was the live show and the energy that comes with the live show, and although these songs are very personal and very probably the most personal songs that have existed in this band yet, it was important for us to really have something that could be shared and like our shows, which is a very back and forth exchange. That's kind of we were trying our very best to kind of capture that in record form, and I think it worked. It's especially we spent a long time with Bummer out before we actually got to play it and do the thing that it was meant to do. So, which was scary in moments for sure, and obviously just for being in a band reasons, not being able to play shows was terrifying. But even after that time, we finally got to play, and now have for the last almost year have been playing these songs for so many people, with so many people, and it worked, you know, and that's my takeaway from it. I think which I'm super happy with.
Yeah, it's really hard to write on the road. It's super busy. We're also like, we're an independent band, so we don't have like a huge crew helping us with all the little tasks or anything. So there's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, be it like just driving to the next show or getting up early to, you know, go get a new drum head the next day before the next gig or whatever. So there isn't always a ton of time for like writing, but I'm always listening to my demos and like thinking about it. It's like kind of like a reflection period maybe, and then it's almost like the abstinence from the basement. Like you're not there, you're not getting to work on the ideas. It kind of like builds it up, and so I find like when we're back home, things usually kind of explode, and there's like a lot of creativity when we get back. It's like we save it up. It's kind of cool.